Yo, what's up, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me. I think we're doing good. Shows everything's working on my end at least, but let me know if you're having troubles hearing me or anything like that. Yo, Marin, what's up?
Mm.
Want a Boba Fett show? Yeah, no, I wasn't making any tea. It's coffee. Like I said last week, this couple of weeks is all about coffee. So, um, yeah, I'm literally I have 4 pages to write on the last of my schoolwork. So, um, man, yeah, I feel like I'm the Walking Dead right now, but I am glad to be here, chatting with you guys, talking Star Wars. So here we go. Well, we're gonna take a look at a tier. We're jumping back to some tier maker stuff. So if you missed that, then hopefully you are excited to see this again. But we are taking a look at all of the things that were announced last week. So last week, if you were part of the live stream, we're getting all the ads. Last week, if you were part of the live stream, you we basically started the live stream right as Disney had announced all these things. I'm pretty sure the Bad Batch trailer was dropped like almost right as I started my stream. So I really didn't get a chance to talk about all that stuff because I didn't know that all of this stuff had been announced yet. But sure, we're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna talk about basically the major Star Wars product or not products projects that are upcoming. I'll share my thoughts. I'll share what I'm excited for, and I'll also share what I think it could mean slash why it might be important to the Star Wars universe. But I also want to hear your opinion too. Also, if in the webcam you see me looking off this way, it's because I've got the chat going there, so I'm not distracted by anything else. But yeah, let's take a look at this. Let me check out the chat. So the actor for Jango Fett will be in Kenobi. Yeah. Um, I've heard rumors that in the Kenobi show we're gonna see Commander Cody, leading like a stormtrooper battalion or something like that, which would be cool, and it would make sense. You could use Tamora Morrison, that's Jango Fett's actor, Boba Fett now. You could use him even at his current age to portray Commander Cody or really any clone because the Kenobi series I think is supposed to take place 10 years after Re- Revenge of the Sith. And because the clones have their growth accelerators, they would look quite a bit older in by the time of this Kenobi series. So yeah, I don't know. I've heard those rumors of Commander Cody um, being in the Kenobi series, and yeah, that would be sweet. We didn't really get a good send off to Commander Cody. Um, for all we know, right now he pretty much just, according to canon, I think the canon fate of Cody is that he just lived out his days as an Imperial officer training stormtroopers, um, something like that. Yeah, Austin. I don't think that Star Wars is gonna slow down. And you know what? That's for better or worse. All of this stuff could be really. I think most of this stuff is really exciting stuff, and it's stuff that fans have been wanting. Obi-Wan Kenobi series, obviously, Ahsoka. Um, Depending on what a lot of the stuff, it's stuff that fans have been wanting. So I think that's good that Star Wars is not slowing down. Of course, you run the risk of going beyond the lifespan of something. Of course, you run the risk of kind of milking the cow for more than it's worth. I saw a meme. Somebody sent me a meme the other day where it was basically this. Let me find it. But it was basically a cow that was like all skinny, and it was clear that it was malnourished and had been used up of all of its milk. Yeah, And it was basically labeled Star Wars, and yeah, the farmers going out to milk more of it. The whole thing was that Disney was milking as much as they can from Star Wars, and that's a good and bad thing. So, anyways, um, yeah. Has anyone forgotten that Darth Maul was in Solo? No, I still want them to do something with that. I still want that's the primary reason I want a sequel to Solo. I don't really care about getting more young Han Solo stuff. Like that's fine. I want to see what they did with Kira going to Dathomir and working more closely with Maul. That's what I want to see. So, all right, well let's jump into this. So first up, I mean you guys know how this works. We've got the top tier, the S tier, followed by A, B, C, and D. And part of this is going to be a little bit difficult because we don't 100% know everything about all of these projects, and some of them are different formats. Some of them are shows. Some of them are animated. Some of them are movies. So we don't. It's hard to compare them apples to apples. So we're gonna try to keep it. We're gonna try to keep it relatively unbiased and more just focus on what we're excited about here. So let's jump in with Rogue Squadron. Let's go Rogue Squadron. So this is going to be um, the Star Wars movie that I believe takes place after Return of the Jedi, kind of early days of the Old Republic. Um, yeah, I don't know. Marin will clean up the spam if that's what it is. Yeah, so Rogue Squadron. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are you excited to see? I can't remember who it's directed by. Um, let me let me use some old Google here. Mm, weird. Um, yeah. So Rogue Squadron. This is because it's the movie that we're getting. I'm pretty excited for it. I I think it'll be good. I mean, Rogue Squadron's got like, I mean, we're talking Wedge Antilles, whoever else. So it could be really cool. Um, could be cool to see some early New Republic stuff because we haven't really got that in Mandalorian. We've just kind of seen glimpses of the New Republic, and they haven't done much because the show's really focused on what's going on in the Outer Rim and stuff like that, and what's mainly going on with the remnants of the Empire. Yeah, yeah, Thrawn. I think you're right. It's about like fighter combat, and the director. I don't know much about her, but she comes from a family of fighter pilots, so that's probably gonna really influence it. It's probably gonna have kind of a Top Gun fighter pilot esque feel to it. That would be cool to see in Star Wars. So this is the Star Wars movie that's going to be directed by Taika. If you don't know, he's the guy that he directed the finale of season one in The Mandalorian, and he also played IG-11. Um, so that's cool. He also directed Thor Ragnarok. So he's great. He does a lot of good things. So I'm excited to see this. I actually am more excited to see this than Rogue Squadron, just because I like Taika quite a bit. But I don't know what it's going to be about. If let me know in the chat if you know anything about this standalone Star Wars movie. Um, its branding already kind of reminds me of uh, Thor Ragnarok, just kind of that '80s feel, colorful. So I don't know much about this, but it should be cool. What else we got? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, this one is so easy to place. We've been anticipating this for years now. Like seriously. Uh it I feel like as soon as Disney bought Star Wars, rumors of an Obi-Wan Kenobi show were circulating. Obviously, at that point, they were heavy rumors. We didn't get much. We didn't know much about it. And then we got Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got Ewan McGregor kind of confirming that it was going to happen. And then, COVID happened and things started slowing down. And truthfully, there was a point when I thought this Obi-Wan Kenobi series was not going to happen, that it just kept getting delayed and whatnot. So I was bummed about that. But we know it's going to happen, and what's better is that Hayden Christensen will be reprising his role as Darth Vader. So tell me in the chat who you're more excited to see again. Is it Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, or is it Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker? Tell me who you're more excited to see come back, and why. Tell me why. Yeah, Obi-Wan is S tier for sure. I want to see Hayden slaughtering younglings again. Ah, yes. I I hope that we get some in the temple footage. That'll be interesting. That's something that I've always wanted from Star Wars, is just to be able to get more of an inside glance at what was going on in the Jedi Temple during um, Order 66, Operation Nightfall. I want to see Obi-Wan because there would be memes. Every sentence would be a meme. Yeah, potentially this series has the most meme capacity here. So I'm also, I don't, if you've read the Vader comics, they deal with him going back and visiting like Padme's apartment, and kind of they deal with Vader mourning the loss of Padme a little bit more. So I'm kind of hoping that in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series we see Hayden Christensen doing that. We see some mourning going on. We see Vader kind of looking back on his past. But from what I understand, is it's not just going to be flashbacks. I think we're gonna see present day Vader, and present day Obi Wan Kenobi, maybe even together in scenes. I don't know. That might be interesting. Um, but yeah, Timothy, hello there, General Kenobi. You are a bold one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Thrawn, I did see that on Twitter. That the director said in an interview that there will be Order 66 scenes with Hayden. So pretty confident with that. Yeah, I I hope so. I really hope so. Okay, so now we've got Ahsoka. To me, this is also top tier. Gosh, the live action Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson just captured Ahsoka perfectly. Um, and I would love to see more of that. I saw somebody run a poll on Twitter, basically asking if people would rather see the Ahsoka series be animated or live action, and I it didn't really make sense, because why would it be live action? Or why wouldn't it be animated? We've already gotten a ton of animated Ahsoka. Not that there's anything wrong with animated Ahsoka. Animated Ahsoka is fantastic, but we've already seen her presented in that format. With the introduction of Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, it only makes sense that it's a live action series. I don't know what that guy on Twitter was talking about. All right. What else we got going on here? Okay, so I'm seeing that a lot of you are pretty excited for the Ahsoka series. Uh, yeah, live action for sure. Both would be good. Don't hear me say that animated Ahsoka is not good, because I do think animated Ahsoka is fantastic. All right, Rangers of the New Republic. So this is gonna deal with. This is gonna be kind of another military one. And to be honest, remind me in the chat. Tell me if you know if this is. I don't think it's a movie. I think it's a series. But it's basically gonna deal with um, the New Republic and kind of like an elite military squad. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Cara Dune in this. I could see her becoming a ranger of the New Republic. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I could really see it becoming a spin-off involving Cara Dune and maybe Fennec Shand. That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, we saw the two pair up in last week's episode of The Mandalorian, and they were unstoppable. Um, yeah, Mayfeld and Mando did not have to worry about a single stormtrooper because they were just killing it. Um, no, Austin, I think I think the one that you're thinking of that's about the Old Republic is potentially the Acolyte. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, uh, Thrawn, I'm with you there. Both with Rogue Squadron and Rangers of the New Republic, they're both gonna have, I think, that kind of military feel, and I really enjoy those. Rogue One was fantastic, and it really had that military feel. So hopefully we get something like that from these. And speaking of Rogue One, let's talk about Andor, Cassian Andor. Um, I'm actually pretty darn excited for this. For a lot of reasons. One being, we already talked about this. The Rogue One, it was a fantastic movie. So being able to dive into some backstory of that, specifically Andor, and what he talks about, his time with the rebellion has caused him to do a lot of things that were questionable, a lot of things that provided some darkness in his life, and so I think getting to see that, I think it'll really actually shed some new light on what it means to be a part of the rebellion. We kind of got a picture that not everybody who was a part of the rebels was like your standard picture of a hero. We got a lot of people like Andor or Saw Gerrera who did some pretty messed up things. Who, yes, they were fighting for the rebellion. They were fighting for to overthrow the empire, but that led them to do some things that, as Mayfeld would say, probably kept them up at night. So seeing that again from Andor, I think will be really interesting to me. Um, yeah, and catch up with the chat here. Oh, Dark Sith, welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you're having a good day. I wonder if Cobb Vanth and Grief would come tomorrow. They could. I think at least Grief Karga will show up. I doubt we'll see Cobb Vanth. I just don't know why we would. He felt like a one-off character. Grief, it would make sense that they bring him back. He's kind of been one of the show's long-standing characters, and Carl Weathers has been pretty involved in the show, so it would make sense that they bring him back for tomorrow's finale. I mean, he brought Cara back, Cara Dune, so be easy to bring Grief back. Yeah, I do want Ahsoka in the future as well. or yeah, in the finale, getting Ahsoka, that'd be sweet. I just, I'm worried. Not worried. I'm guessing that we're not gonna have Ahsoka in the finale. Just because one, they just announced a show that is focused on her, and so I think that her appearance in The Mandalorian was simply just a hey, here's live action Ahsoka. She's still doing things during this timeline, and then the Ahsoka series will give us the full story of what she's up to, and that's probably also where we'll get Thrawn. Um, Maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I still think we'll get Thrawn in the Mandalorian, and probably still we'll revisit Ahsoka a little bit more, because for a lot of casual Star Wars viewers who are maybe just watching the Mandalorian, which there's a lot of Star Wars fans that they don't know much about Star Wars. They haven't watched much Star Wars, but they're really into the Mandalorian. So I think for that reason, because they know that there are some people who are pretty much sticking to the Mandalorian, I think for that reason they will bring some sort of closure to Ahsoka and Thrawn, that storyline, even if it's hinting or showing something towards the Ahsoka series. That was a little tangent there. Um, who agrees with me that Kanan would have made an amazing master for Grogu? Oh, I love Kanan. Kanan is one of my favorite Jedi. I did um I can't remember if it was Instagram or what, but I did basically a video, just a quick, like, I think it was on my Instagram story, that was my top five favorite Jedi, and Kanan is number five. I'm rewatching Rebels with one of my roommates right now, and I'm always impressed by Kanan. He's not the most powerful Jedi in existence, but he's kind of like, I mean, he's one of the more relatable Jedi. He's a normal person. Like, he spent obviously his time as a kid being trained by Depa Billaba, in the Jedi Temple, and had kind of was raised up in the temple. But after Order 66, he had to figure things out on his own for close to 15 years, and pretty much just became a normal person. I can't remember what book it is. A New Dawn. Yeah, if you've read that, that kind of showcases how Kanan meets Hera and kind of gets tied in with that, and kind of reincorporates his Jedi powers and his life as a Jedi back into his life. But for the most part, Kanan's just a normal guy, who wants to do the right thing, and he's a Jedi at the same time. So kind of like Ahsoka, in that he's a Jedi whose primary goal is to do the right thing and help people in need. And I always like it when we see Jedi like that, because we don't always get to that. Cough, cough, Mace Windu, cough, cough. A lot of the old Jedi Order. I really do like Mace Windu, but, that prequel era Jedi kind of got caught up in politics and stuff. Freddie Prinze Jr. Yep, that's the voice of Kanan. They will enter Gideon's ship 100%, or they will find Gideon on a planet, perhaps on Kamino or Nalhutta. I looked at the map from Chapter 15 and did my best for locating Gideon's position. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Star Wars theory, that I think he did a video where he basically did a side-by-side of the map of the galaxy and then traced it. He kind of showed that there's a lot of hyperspace lanes that go from Nalhutta, that area, to Kamino, so that's a possibility. Kamino would be sick. That's the thing I would be most pumped about, is if Gideon shows up on Kamino and they tie it in. They've already, Attack of the Clones is, I like that movie a lot. Star Wars, I like all Star Wars, but Attack of the Clones is one of the ones that has typically been received the most hate, but I feel like they have referenced Attack of the Clones quite a bit throughout The Mandalorian. I mean, put an F in the chat for the seismic charge, and the F in the chat for the two TIE fighters that got blown to smithereens by the seismic charge. But anyways, um, so yeah, I think actually I could really see them bringing Camino into play, especially like Dr. Pershing. We saw the emblem on his shoulder that matches pretty close to the Kaminoan one. So if we're talking about cloning or like hints of cloning are going on, so it would make sense to go to Camino. But um, Timothy Waterman, I think they should make a Revan series. Absolutely, absolutely. Revan is fantastic. Yeah. Attack of the Clones has my favorite prequel character, Django. Yeah, Django's awesome. Oh yeah, yeah. It. Oh, Freddie Prince Jr. is Fred in Scooby Doo. That you're right. You're right. Scooby Doo is awesome. Like I grew up watching Scooby Doo quite a bit. Um. All right, the Bad Batch. Right here. The Bad Batch, I'm excited. I'm pretty sure the Bad Batch, we're getting it this spring, right? That's coming up pretty quick. I don't I don't know. I don't think we've gotten an official release date yet for it. But I think that is coming in the spring, or at least this year, 2021. Um, so just keeping in pattern with how Disney Plus has operated, I assume that it'll be a spring type thing. Um, so the thing that I'm really excited about the Bad Batch with, and they teased this in the trailer, is I want to get more of that post Order 66, like very early days of the Empire. And I want to see how that transition really played out, because obviously in Revenge of the Sith it just kind of turns into um, Order 66 is declared, the Jedi betrayed the Republic, so they're purged, and Palpatine just like announces an empire and kind of declares the first galactic empire, which is all good. And like with the clone army and the power that he had, it was easy to establish that. But I would like to see kind of the early days of that transition of power, changing from a republic to an empire. I think the Bad Batch will kind of show us that a little bit. Hayden, you're here. You have not responded to my call or message about ordering all of my PC parts. So, anyways, um, yeah, I'm building a PC, guys. Just ordered all of the parts for it today. And really, the goal with the PC is to be able to stream some games, do some gameplay. It'll also just kind of be a little bit easier of a system for me to edit videos, and the easier it is to edit videos, the faster I can pump out content. So um, that all benefits you guys. So I have all those parts for the PC. I'm gonna start building it. Well, I don't have them yet. They're shipping, but they'll be here. No, you're not a bad friend, Hayden. I just had to give you some garbage for that. I'm sure we will have a 2 hour conversation about The Mandalorian on the phone tomorrow, um, as has been the pattern of this Mandalorian season. So, everyone in the chat, tell Hayden he is a good friend, even though he has dodged my calls. Although I'm pretty sure I called at like 9:30 my time this morning, so that would have been like 8:30 your time. So actually, I'm the bad friend. I called you while you were probably asleep or like just waking up. Eugh. Yeah, I'm the bad friend, I guess. Um. All right. Okay, so Bad Batch right there. I went crazy. I thought it was fantastic. I watched the Bad Batch trailer on the live stream last week, and I was super excited to see Palpatine in that. It was good times. All right, so next we've got Vision. So this one I think is the one that's like it's gonna be a bunch of short stories, um, and kind of put in anime form. So that'll be interesting and unique. I don't know what time period they're actually focusing on with this. It might be a variety of time periods. The goal isn't, I don't think the goal with Vision is to be one continuous story. I think the goal is to have a variety of time periods touched on and short stories in there in anime form, which I personally, the reason it's at a C, I'm not a huge anime guy. I just never got into that form of animation, that form of storytelling. But I know that there's a lot of people that will love that. So I think that Vision, it's going to be a unique Star Wars experience, and I think it'll be something that's probably pretty cool. But it's not the thing that's got me most excited. Um, yeah, that'd be cool. They could put Boba escaping the Sarlacc pit in this. This could potentially be a tool that is used to tell a lot of these smaller stories that aren't significant enough to maybe warrant their own movie or show, but they're still important to Star Wars. That could absolutely be put in short story form. Um, I do think that I would like the Mandalorian to kind of explain Boba's backstory a little bit more. Yeah. What are the chances Walter White kills Moff Gideon tonight? I I'm not gonna say that the chances are none because hey, you never know. Um, Anything could happen. Um, but I would guess that the I would guess that the chances are slim of that. I initially read that as what are the chances the White Walkers would kill Moff Gideon tonight, and that just sounds like an incredible uh, crossover there. Game of Thrones and Star Wars. That would be pretty wild. Jon Snow and Anakin Skywalker, both the chosen ones. I don't know. I'm not really well versed in Game of Thrones lore, but would Jon Snow be considered a chosen one of sorts? I don't know. Hayden, I know you're smarter with Game of Thrones than I am, so tell me that. But okay, well, yeah. Oh, Timothy, Vision would be a great way to introduce Revan. Yeah, I think so. I think preferably I would like Vision to be introduced as a live action character. Obviously, like Keanu Reeves would be a fantastic Revan. Um, but Vision could be a good spot to just kind of maybe lightly dive into some of the old Republic stuff and really just confirm to Disney what we all already know, and that is that Old Republic stuff would absolutely be successful, and maybe they just need to dip their toes in that pool through something like Vision that focuses on short stories, and maybe they'll realize that Star Wars fans want Old Republic stuff in canon. We want Old Republic content. The games are fantastic, but we want a TV show. We want a movie. I would love it if the next like big Star Wars trilogy of movies we got was the Old Republic and focused on Revan, that whole storyline. Maybe even going into. I wouldn't mind jumping forward a little bit in time and getting something regarding Darth Bane and the Rule of Two, and then referencing Revan. I don't know. The Old Republic, there's so much there, and I would be a fan of anything they did in the Old Republic era. Um, I think that would actually be a really successful trilogy for them because it would be different enough. It would stay away from the Skywalker saga, which is what they're trying to do, I think, with the movies. But it would also be something that Star Wars fans are familiar with and anticipating. So yeah, Timothy, I agree with you. Vision would be a good way to introduce Revan. Wait, because they made Django Mando, is Star Wars Bounty Hunter canon now? No, not necessarily. That's still technically probably Legends. The thing with Legends versus canon is it comes down to what belongs to Disney slash what doesn't. The whole idea behind having even a canon is that when storytellers that are either part of Disney or Lucasfilm or whatever, it it makes it easier for them to tell a cohesive story that doesn't clash and contradict. Although they're not perfect at that, it happens often that canon stuff contradicts a little bit. But by narrowing it down to canon, um, narrowing things down to a canon, it makes it easier for them to tell one cohesive story throughout all the different modes, the shows, books, whatever. So I don't think they'll ever like officially incorporate things like past video games like Bounty Hunter, which is my all-time favorite Star Wars game or one of them. If you take the multiplayer ones out, like Battlefront and all that, Bounty Hunter is one of my favorite single-player games. I don't own a PlayStation anymore, so I can't play it right now, which is really sad. Really sad. Anyways, all that to say, short answer to your question there. Bounty Hunter is not canon, but many of the things that we learn in that game are confirmed as canon. So the game itself isn't canon, and that so but things that we learn about Django being a foundling, about being adopted or taken in by Mandalorians, that's been confirmed in canon now, thanks to the Mandalorian. So, anyways, yeah. Long. Django is with true Mandos, and Bounty Hunter doesn't break canon. Yeah, so there's a lot of Legends stuff out there that fits within canon. Like it doesn't break anything in canon. So you can look at it and think, well, if it doesn't break canon, it doesn't contradict canon, um, then that's as close to canon as it can get. But officially, that doesn't make it canon because ultimately, whether we like it or not, right now Disney's the one who makes the call in what's canon and what's not canon. So, but again, that doesn't mean Legends material can't fit in canon, if that makes sense. And don't forget Mr. Spock beaming up on Gideon's bridge, putting an end to his life with his. We're just getting this crazy crossover here where White Walkers and Star Trek is coming into play. I know how it feels. I wrote such a beautiful poem about this. About his very. Wait. Oh! I'm sorry, I'm missing chats. Let me go back. Let me go back. I will not miss your chats. Where's this poem about Hayden? Hayden is a good guy. He will never give you up, let you down, run around, desert you, make you cry, say goodbye, tell a lie, and hurt you. That's pretty good. I hope Hayden saw that. I'm going to copy and paste that just in case he didn't. And I'll tell him. Yeah, okay. There we go. That's pretty great. Austin, White Walkers, move. Endgame is the biggest crossover. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, White Walkers move over. Endgame. This is the biggest crossover ever. Yeah, Game of Thrones and Star Wars. It'd be a weird crossover, but anyways. I will try my best to not miss your guys' chats. Anakin, right? It's spelled with an A. Anakin, I believe. Still watching Return of the Jedi. Boba just fell in the Sarlacc pit. Also, fun fact: Return of the Jedi was almost called Revenge of the Jedi. Yep. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Alright, so we left off with Vision, right? Next is the Acolyte. This one is top tier for me. Now, there's a caveat with this one. So it's top tier if um yeah, this one's top tier if we are right in that many people are theorizing, including myself, that this is going to include young Palpatine. Now, I know that it's predominantly a female cast, and or at least that's the rumor. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I haven't actually looked into it. But um, what I gotta say is that it would make sense because I'm pretty sure the description of this places it at the end of the High Republic and the dark side power, the dark side of the Force is kind of gaining traction. Which at this point, at the end of the High Republic, we're talking like Tenebris, who was Plagueis's master, who was Palpatine's master. So we could see that timeline wise. It could make sense to be a young Palpatine. We got Rickrolled. Oh, it could be about Ventress. I don't know. The description on the Star Wars website does say that it's kind of High Republic, end of the High Republic, so uh, that would be long before Ventress's time. I guess it could talk about the Night Sisters, but it's got a lightsaber streak right through the logo. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but it literally like there is a lightsaber slash across the logo. So it's gotta deal with a Sith in some way. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, but um, Vision will be about the world between worlds. Okay, yeah, maybe I could see that. How would they fit that in? So if they spend time at the end of the High Republic, so before Phantom Menace, how would they what would they learn about the world between worlds, or what would happen in the world between worlds that would make sense within the story? Because I'm assuming that whatever happens in the Acolyte, there's got to be some sort of connection to um, the rest of the story later on, like the prequels and stuff. It doesn't have to be direct, but it's got to have some sort of influence over it. So I don't know. I don't know. Could it be? Could it be Plagueis spending? Because in the novel, he spends some time isolated on a planet towards the end of his life, pretty much just working on his experiments. Like Plagueis, if you didn't know, I mean, this is all according to legends, but Plagueis was um, more of a scientific mind rather than um, like Palpatine. Palpatine was pretty intent on learning more power and becoming as powerful as he could be. Plagueis was more interested in using science and a little bit of the dark side to prolong his life and cheat death, basically. He wanted to cheat death, not the way that Palpatine did. Plagueis, because Palpatine cheats death by essentially transferring his spirit to a clone body. But Plagueis actually thought that was a cop out. He thought that was weak, and that there had to be a way to influence the midichlorians or leverage the midichlorians to basically create life and basically keep somebody alive in their original body, so that they could really live forever. And that, like, the Plagueis novel hints that his work with midichlorians potentially created Anakin Skywalker. So interesting stuff there. That'd be cool if the Acolyte. Honestly, more than Palpatine, I want the Acolyte to focus on Plagueis. This would be a perfect time to introduce Plagueis to canon, or introduce Plagueis. Well, obviously, Plagueis is canon because Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Obviously, he's canon, but getting his story told in canon would be awesome. Have you realized when they're making Empire Strikes Back, someone got mad and hit a hammer on Boba Fett's helmet? No. Is that how it got the dent? I did not know that. I did not. I read it wrong because Annie does not like sand, and the desert is a lot of sand. I hate sand. It's coarse, and it gets everywhere. Perhaps Vision is about the father, son, sister, and son. Oh, yeah. We get Abeloth introduced into Vision. Honestly, a story like looking at the father, son, and the daughter, and even Abeloth, the mother, their story would probably translate really well to anime. What if it was like, so it's all these short stories, and it's short stories of basically their influence in the galaxy or what they've been up to in the galaxy in different time eras, in different spots of Star Wars. So we could see maybe one episode that's like, okay, here's what the father, son, daughter, and even Abeloth were doing during the High Republic. And then, okay, well, actually, here's now them during the Old Republic. Because they've been around for a long time, but yeah, I think that their story could translate really well to Vision. Da, 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 da. Well, yeah, it was a Rickroll, but I like Rick Astley. Deserves more than just being a meme. Oh yeah, true that, brother. No, just a joke. Hayden, I think Star Wars could do a better job at fleshing out Darth Vader's motivations. What do you think about a sand prequel story? Yeah, okay. Well, that person created something iconic. We talking about the Sand prequel story? That would be an iconic story. It's got to be the first story about sand. You don't tell me that there's already a story that centers on sand. The closest thing I can think of is Captain Jack Sparrow with his jar of dirt. It's a jar of dirt. Oh, perhaps Acolyte will be about Plagueis and or his master Tenebris. Can't write his name out. Yeah, I literally Plagueis and Tenebris, that is the thing I'm most excited about. Over the summer I read the Plagueis novel and I finished that in like 4 days because I was just glued to it. It's still my favorite Star Wars story. So getting that on screen would be beautiful. Or The Younglings, The Younglings, a Star Wars story. Master Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? Cue the Imperial March. So that show is going to become Marvel. What if seeing different stories? Yeah, I would love to see a series where younglings go around and get killed by a guy who hates sand. Yeah, when you put it like that, it doesn't sound very appealing. Actually, it never sounds appealing at all. I do want to see more Order 66 insight, but that doesn't necessarily mean I want to see Anakin killing younglings. That would be dark. Oh, okay. The person who rage and hit Boba's helmet created something iconic. Yeah. Have you guys seen the unfinished Clone Wars episodes where Boba and Cad Bane face off? It's just kind of an old school gunslinger duel. And I mean, it's not finished animation or anything like that, but it's still pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, just type it in YouTube. Cad Bane, Boba Fett, Clone Wars, unfinished episode, whatever. But it's pretty cool. It ends with Boba taking a shot to the helmet, and it kind of hints that that's where that dent came from. But I like that it's actually um, because a guy got pissed and smashed it with a hammer or something. Yeah, it's funny. Obi-Wan could have brought Sand to Mustafar and beat Annie way faster. Okay, I'm expanding our crossover, and now it's Pirates of the Caribbean is in it, and Obi-Wan actually goes and recruits Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, and Jack Sparrow brings his jar of dirt and flings it in Anakin's face, and that's how it ends. You guys can expect a fanfic video on this soon. Dark but funny. Create a show, a what if show about Star Wars on Disney Plus. I there's a long line of people that should make shows on Star Wars shows on Disney Plus before me. I would that would be like one of the coolest things on the planet to have some sort of voice in creating something Star Wars, even if it was literally just like I don't know. It would be cool to be involved in creating a Star Wars show or a Star Wars movie, but that's so far away from for me. Um, but that would be cool. Mm, yeah, Thrawn and Hayden, you guys are on the you're on the same page, I guess. Thrawn, it's probably pretty late for you, right? I'm glad you're here still, though. I can picture Obi-Wan on a ship being the captain, so awesome. A long lane, more like two people. There's more than two people ahead of me in creating Star Wars stuff. Um, Funny how they had Cad Bane make a dent instead of random mad guy with hammer. Wonder if the actor wondered why there was a dent. Nah, he probably just thought it was part of the costume. Boba's armor looked battle worn from the start, even in Empire Strikes Back. So he probably just thought it was part of the look. But little did we know, we have a guy with a hammer to make it such. All right, so let's finish off with this last one, the Lando series, and I'm gonna put this up here in B. And so I don't know this. Tell somebody look it up and or confirm this for me. But are they going to have Donald Glover reprise his role as Lando? Because that will heavily influence the way I feel about this Lando series movie. Is it a series? But if they brought Donald Glover back as Lando, I would bump it up to an A. It would be an A for me. I actually recently just been enjoying Lando's story. Um, I'm listening through from a certain point of view the Empire Strikes Back one, which basically just is a lot of short stories from different side characters in the Empire Strikes Back, and one of them kind of deals with Lando, and he's becoming more of an interesting character to me. Even in the Rise of Skywalker, I want to know a little bit more about what he did between Return of the Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Funny how they. Would you rather have lightsaber or 50% ownership of all Star Wars? With that money, you can make your own lightsaber. Well, so I'd rather have a lightsaber because right now all the money in the world can't buy a lightsaber because the technology to have a lightsaber that is like actually a lightsaber, not just the hacksmith version of one, to have a real lightsaber just like the movies that technology doesn't exist yet. So if I had all that money, I still wouldn't be able to have a lightsaber. So I would choose a lightsaber. Good question, though. Yeah, good question. I have a feeling Lando is going to be in Star Wars. Kinnick, the dancing one, the best movie or TV show ever. If you need music for your Jack Sparrow Star Wars crossover, ask Samuel Kim. He did 5 amazing crossover orchestrations. Did he actually cross over Star Wars and Pirates of the Caribbean? I think I think I've seen some of those crossovers, but I don't I don't know if Pirates of the Caribbean was one of them. 1 a.m. there? Well, I'm gonna be up until 1 a.m. here watching Mando. That's when it drops for me is 1 a.m. But I'll be finishing up the semester, so the next time I wake up from sleeping, The Mandalorian will have finished season 2, and I will have finished this semester of grad school. So yay! I watched Film Theory, and the Empire took better care of the galaxy than the New Republic did. Yeah, in a sense, that's true. They were more effective in bringing order to the galaxy. But reality is, they did not do anything really that benefited Outer Rim. Like, if you lived on one of the core planets, like Coruscant and kind of some of the surrounding ones, then sure, the galaxy was fine. It was better under the Empire. Most citizens in the core worlds didn't even really notice a difference between the Republic and the Empire. The difference was really seen in the Outer Rim and even the Mid Rim when the Empire started basically taking advantage of all these planets that had resources and ruling with an iron fist. They showed no mercy. Like, even though they had order in the galaxy and the galaxy probably ran smoother and was more effective, there was a lot of oppression and there was a lot of abuse of power. So, in a sense, yeah, they took better care of the galaxy, but that didn't make them right. But no, that's a good observation. I am Han Solo. I am Han Solo. Flying with my oh oh gosh, don't even remind me that of that. The Mandalorian even showed that the Empire left Tatooine. It was in greater danger. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it left like a vacuum of power. That was exactly how that mining group came in. The Empire left, and that created a vacancy of power. And so we have a lot of gangs and corrupt leadership taking that place. So yeah, you're not wrong. The Empire really did probably in a lot of ways benefit the galaxy, but they still had a lot of negative too. So yeah. Across the Stars plus the love theme from Pirates of the Caribbean, the Kraken theme, and Duel of the Fates. um, what have you watched season 1 of the Mando recently? There's a season 1. I didn't know. Is it any good? No, I have not. I actually, once I finish school, I've got 3 weeks off. 3 weeks before the next semester, so I'm gonna probably next week rewatch the whole Mandalorian season 1 and 2. But I have not watched season 1 since last year when it premiered. I did watch. I think I watched the last episode in September, just to remind myself of what happened. Yeah, but no. All right. Well, I don't know. There's our ranking. It was a pretty small ranking today. I mainly just wanted to get on here and take a break from school and be able to chat with you guys, see how your week was going. I am excited to say that from this point out, starting tomorrow, I'll have my Mando breakdown out. And from then on, my goal is to spend the rest of December, the next 3 weeks, doing daily uploads. So a lot of you have suggested fanfics and suggested different videos. So my goal over the next 3 weeks is to really get those done, um, to really be able to kind of make some headway on some of the projects I've wanted to do that I haven't been able to do because of school, school and stuff like that. Um, so I'm excited for that. Like I said, I'm also building. Wow, if you guys can't tell, I choked on some food and it went down the wrong pipe, so forgive me there. But I'm excited to be able to do some daily uploads and really get a lot of content that I've been meaning to get out there with. Um, I will, once I build this PC, probably once a week, I'll be doing, we'll still do these live streams where we kind of just chat and kind of go over stuff, different Star Wars topics. Um, but probably like Sunday nights or something like that, we'll be doing also some gaming streams where I'll play through some of the old Star Wars games like Jedi. Um, Jedi Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. That's probably the first one I'll do. Knights of the Old Republic, stuff like that. Really, just those are fun games that I've been meaning to replay. So I want to be able to replay them with you guys. So yeah, um, still waiting on my fanfics. Do me a favor and go to any one of my videos and comment them again, even if you've already commented them. Um, I might make a community post. Yeah, probably will make a community post so that people can comment the fanfics they want, remind me of what some of them are. But yeah, FNAAF 918. How's it going? Glad you're here. We're winding down this live stream, but glad you made it for the end. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of a glimpse at what the future of the channel has. I'm pretty excited for 2021. I'm coming up on a year on YouTube in February, so yeah, you can expect some exciting things there. At least I think they're exciting. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, this is fun for me. Even if nobody watches my stuff, I have fun making videos. I have fun talking with a few of you about Star Wars. So I'm gonna keep making content even if nobody watches it. But yeah, the next few weeks will be daily uploads. We'll start introducing gaming streams. It'll be a good time. Uh, I'm not quite sure on the time yet. Probably when it gets closer to being able to do that. So probably sometime next week I will post on my community tab a poll or something like that to kind of hear from you guys what the best time to do a gaming stream would be. So it doesn't have to be Sunday evening. That's just kind of one time that works for me. But I mean, it could be Sunday afternoons even, which would be quite a bit earlier. But yeah, um, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. I've got to get back to some homework and finish up the semester. Um, yeah, it's been real. Super excited. All of you guys, really appreciate your support to this channel. I hope to keep being able to give you guys content and making a relevant Star Wars channel that has a good community around it for you guys. So, as always, may the Force be with you. And, oh, before I forget, next week we're not doing a live stream because it is Christmas Eve. Not gonna do a live stream just because I'll be busy with family stuff. I mean, you guys will hopefully be busy with different family stuff and all that. So next week there's gonna be no live stream, but it's okay because we're gonna be doing daily uploads at that point, and it's gonna be a good time anyway. So, anyways, may the Force be with you. Peace out.